Perfect. Thank you, Ray. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. We'll start with the roll call. We'll have Ray go ahead and get on that.
Yes, sir. Meg Haley. Quinn Ty.
Here.
Corey Thomas.
I am here.
Hi, Corey. Damon Jebb. Excuse me, John Napier.
Here.
Michael Six. Kim Brulette.
Here.
Dave Colcott. Dave will be absent. Matthew Campbell.
Here.
Kevin Marr.
I'm here.
And Zach Tuck.
I'm here.
Hi, Zach. I didn't have you written down. Zach. And then Chris Seaman.
I'm here.
Chris.
Cool.
All right, we are good to go.
Okay.
Doug Erickson's here too.
Oh, hi, Doug. I was just doing roll for quorum for the tag members, but
Yeah,
we're
so
happy
if
to have.
anyone from the outside would like to be recognized, go ahead.
Sure.
Welcome, Doug.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. Great
Who
to
are
be
you with,
here.
Doug?
Who are you with, Doug?
I'm an architect, project manager. Right now I'm in Woodinville.
Excellent. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to agenda item number 2, which is review and approve the agenda. If there's any changes or corrections anyone would like to make with the agenda, now's the time. If not, looking for a motion to approve.
This is Chris. I move to approve the agenda.
Okay, Chris moves.
This is Matt, second.
Matt, second. Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, aye.
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 All those against, nay. Okay, motion carries. We'll jump down to agenda item number 3, which is review and approve the March 4th, 2021 summary minutes. Ray, if you want to pull those up, we'll take a peek.
Are you seeing them?
Yes, we are. If you could just zoom in on it a little bit, that'd be good.
No.
Okay,
I zoomed in a little too far. Sorry.
that's okay. There we go. Yeah, go down to there. We'll take a quick look at those, and then looking for any changes or suggestions or anything that needs to be corrected. If not, a motion to approve.
Not a significante change, but we're still significante.
Are we?
Number
Where
5.
I thought they fixed that. How the heck is that happening? What number? I don't know.
Number 5.
Okay, I see it. Gosh, dang it.
Thanks, Chris.
Good catch.
That's how we spell it where I live.
Okay, so we'll make that change, and then looking for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the past meeting.
Thank you, Chris.
Matt, second.
Matt, second. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Motion carries. All right, let's jump down to agenda item number 4, which is review existing IFC state amendments, which we've really done a really good job on it. I don't know if there's a ton to even talk about as far as this item goes, but we left it on there just in case something has come up since our last meeting, or if someone wants to add anything that maybe got missed before. I don't know if we're even missing any chapters anymore, are we, Ray?
I just figured we'd go down each one, and if anybody has a change, we'll make a change, and if we see anything missing, then we'll just add it right now.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you seeing that now?
It's getting there. Yeah, we just need it zoomed in on a little.
I just needed to what?
Well, for me, maybe not for others. Maybe
I can't see there. Too small.
Too small. All right, let's see what I can do here. Does that help? That's as big as I can get it on my screen.
That's better, yeah.
Okay. So I guess you just want to go scroll down it, Tony, and then we'll decide
Sure.
what. Okay. So here's a double odd general.
You're good on the general section then, Ray?
Yep.
Okay, and scope and administration, John, you're with us today. Do you have anything there that you want to go over again?
Nope, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, we'll jump to definitions.
Think we're good there.
Good with
I
definitions.
just think there was some notes about correlation that needed to occur.
Yep. I'm working with Stoyan on
Yep.
making sure that we're all on the same page on that.
Yep.
Perfect. And
It was
then
basically the institutional group, right, John?
I believe so, yes.
One.
all right, and then chapter 3, general requirements. John, how are we looking on that?
Yeah, no changes.
Excellent. Okay, and Dave's wasn't able to make today's meeting, but I don't think we've heard anything from him in the last week on this, unless we have anything on the 500 versus 1,000 on 403.12.3.
It's 500 in the code book now, right, Tony? Or
I have it here, one sec.
Yeah, the model code is more restrictive than our current amendment.
did we have a decision on this? Did we want to change it, or were we just? I remember I thought we were going to think about it for the week here.
I thought that our discussion was
I remember it
we
now.
should expect somebody, to send something in, but
It'll be
we
a-
wouldn't. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be a proposal, not what we do here.
Okay, so we're good there. Let's jump to 5, which do we have anything there that we need to update?
No, I don't believe so. And again, it'll be similar in the 510 section that there'll just be a bunch of code change proposals that I'll bring forward. So some of our state stuff will get collated into that somehow. But yeah, there's just too much to just try to fix right now. I'll just bring in the changes.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Chapter 6 is building services and systems. Quinn, you got anything there that you want to add or adjust?
No, the only thing, like I mentioned before, was we just need to renumber it to match, but that's about it.
Okay, excellent. And chapter 7, we're good, Ray?
Okay. We're just going to delete that amendment for 7.
Yes, yeah.
Since we're going to.
And interior finishes, that's Dave's, which we haven't heard anything there as far as changing anything since last week. So we'll jump to 9.
Sorry
Which
about
is,
that.
oh, what's that?
Something's going goofy with my spreadsheet, so go ahead. I'm good now.
Okay, so we'll jump to chapter 9, which that was Corey's, it looks like. Fire protection and life safety systems. Is there anything that changed from last week?
No changes from last week, no.
Okay, thank you, Corey.
Yep.
Jump to 10.
Hey, Tony, this is Quinn here. Can we
Yeah.
go back to chapter 9? I know that we're just talking about current amendments. So is this the time when we want to talk about potential new ones?
That will
well,
be in the code. Oh, go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Ray.
I was gonna say that will be in the code proposal process that will start next month.
Okay, okay. Because we met, Ken and I met with the Wobble group, and yeah, we have some updates on that one. So, all right.
Perfect.
Cool. Very good. Okay, jumping to 10, which is means of egress. I think Chris and Kevin were on that one. Anything new on that?
I didn't find anything new from what we had. As long as we're just the biggest thing will be just working with the building code tag to make sure whatever shakes out is exactly the same.
Okay.
What I'm probably gonna do, since you're on the, I think we covered this before, but I will, since IBC prevails over IFC, I'll let the IBC get done with it, and then I will just cut and paste the OTS documents and amendments straight into our, right into ours. Same for
Cool.
9 and 10.
Yep, I like that.
So there's no chance of anything being missed. Well, did I just jinx it?
And Chris, aren't you on the building?
I am, and I
Yeah.
did chapter 10 for them as well. So I'm
Oh.
hoping that means,
Perfect.
you know, my focus is chapter 10, whether it's the red book or the blue book.
Nice. Okay.
See, this is red here in,
Yeah, Doug, if this is not a presentation on the fire code, this is just our tag meeting to go through the process change. So if you need to, if you want to take off, you can. You don't have to be here. That's all right.
let me unmute you, Doug. You're muted.
Oh, I think he just jumped off. I think he had an idea that this was something different. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're good on 10. Let's jump to 11. And that was Dave and Matt. Matt, anything new on that?
No new, but Ken's mentioning of talking about the emergency responder radio components made me wonder if that amendment earlier in the document would also address requirements for existing conditions, because I think that's now a part of the 2021 edition. So there might be some crossover.
Yeah, I think you're right. There is some crossover, but I didn't detail it in what I just sent to Ray yesterday. But yeah, I'll look at that and just double check. I can't actually, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the change was in chapter 11 for it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. So let's jump to 12, which is energy systems. Quinn, what do we have on that? Anything new?
Nothing new. Everything stayed the same. Just need to renumber it.
Perfect, thank you, Quinn. Tents and temporary structures, nothing changed there. What happened to the numbers? So 33 is fire during construction and demolition. Dave and Matt was on that one. Matt, anything new in the last week? I know there's not a 10 there. I think we're good, but.
Nothing new, sorry.
Okay, excellent. And then we have 36 marinas. Kevin Marr.
Yeah, there's no changes.
Excellent. And processing and extraction facilities, that was Dave's. That's being deleted. I don't think anything's changed there. Let's jump to 40, which is fixed guideways, and that was John.
Yeah, the only thing we had to do there, oh, go ahead, John. I'm sorry. I was thinking Dave, but Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, there's no changes.
Perfect, thank you. And then
Tony, I would say as a heads up on chapter 49, sound transit has been showing up to the building code tags, and we should expect they're looking to try to get more stuff into the code about their projects to try to, I'm not exactly sure what their goal is at the end, but we should be aware that we're probably going to see some potential extra meat added to that chapter from sound transit, at least proposals.
I think I remember them telling us to be prepared when they did that last one during the last code cycle.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is Tony Beals and I are gonna try to work together. Seattle's amended NFPA 130, and we're going to try to work together because I understand that they feel there's some conflict in our amendment. So I have a feeling they're going to want to do the same thing, is bring it to the state level and amend 130. So we took 130 and brought it like chapter 39 just did, or I'm sorry, chapter 40. And we added all these amendment sections. And there's just some conflict that I think Tony wants to take care of. He mentioned the other day about just definitions to begin with. What is the definition of the systems that they're installing? So we're going to try to work on that. So I'll try to work with them, make sure we bring together some good code language.
Excellent.
Yeah, hey, Ken, this is Mark Murray. I'm on the call today, and I'm now with Sound Transit. Now, you may remember me from the University of Washington.
I do.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Everything you said is accurate, as well as Chris. And there's a number of things we're looking at, but our primary focus right now is means of egress.
Yeah, no, I understand. I have the code interpretation request to look at.
No worries. Yeah, actually, we definitely want to try to engage some of the major jurisdictions and get kind of support and make sure they're aware of what we're proposing, so that there's no surprises. And that I'll probably be working with you and Terry on this.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, Ken, the only thing I would ask is that those of us that are on the South Link and East Link and North Link have opportunities to be participatory in that process.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm yeah, we'll try to set something up and do some regional discussions on it and see what we can get going.
Cool. Thanks.
Excellent. All right. Sounds like we have a good basis of an understanding of what's to come. So good deal. Thank you. So jumping to hazmat, which is John and Matt. Anything going on there?
No modifications. Open invitation. If any of the gentlemen representing fire districts north of Olympia would like to discuss the ventilation of indoor medical gas storage rooms after this meeting, I'm available to make a comparison study with NFPA 99 sections for ventilation, as it's coming up in your jurisdictions and mine together. So if you got the time, open to have a chat about that.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. Okay, very good. Not hearing anything else on hazardous material. We'll go to explosives and fireworks. Nothing new there. Go down to flammable and combustible liquids, which was cans, chapter 57.
Yeah, no, nothing new for state amendments until I guess our, April 16th hearing. So there might be some tweaks then.
So this one here says modify the amendment, Ken, on 5704-211. Is that going to be through a proposal, or is that something I need to add on the amendment end of it?
I would have to pull up that section, and I don't have that up right now and running.
Well, I mean, I'll be working off this thing for the next year, so
yeah, it might have just been a reference section that was referenced. I don't have the insert pages up right now.
Okay.
And then the other thing, the big thing is the 5707 section. So that will be an issue after we find out what the State Building Code Council does.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we working on 5707, Ken? In the Building Code Council, or how they're going to vote on it? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, there's that April 16th public hearing.
Oh, yeah.
On
I know what you're talking about now.
Really.
Okay. Ray, you had LP.
I did.
Anything there?
Yep, no change.
Okay, and then we had reference standards with Corey, chapter 80.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Nothing since last time, no changes.
Okay, and then we got the IWUI.
We skipped over that. So what I need to do, if we have amendments to this, or whatever, we have the existing amendments on this, but I am going to have to go through the rulemaking process with the 101s, 102s, and 103s, so that we can pull that WUI and actually make it a WAC number, like the fire code's 5154A. So the WUI codes are going to actually have like a 5156 number or whatever we pick to do that. So so when we do the WUI, it's going to be a separate book from now on, just like we do the fire book. It'll have its own whack, and it won't be. We'll probably in future tags review it like this, but it will be its own book. But I just have to take it through the rulemaking process to get that whack number.
Hey, Tony and Ray, this is
Yeah.
Quinn here. I apologize. Can we go back to chapter 12? The section itself, like I mentioned, the number, it just needs to be renumbered, but the language is referencing an incorrect section. So I don't know, we need to change the language itself to redirect to the correct one. Because right now it's saying in accordance with 605.11, but in the 18 code, that changed from 605 to 604. The 605 is under the 15 code, and then in the 18 it moved to 604, and the 2021 it's still at 604.
So what section specifically, Quinn? Is it the 1204?
1204, correct? Yeah.
1204. Is it all three of those?
1204.1 references 605,
Got it.
and it should be in the 18 and the 21. It should be referencing the section 604.
The 18 and the 21, you said?
Correct.
It needs to be 604, right?
Correct.
Okay.
604.11.
You say 0.11?
Yeah, should be
Okay.
604.11. So the way it's written now, in accordance with section 605.11.1 through 605.11.2,
Oops.
and in the 18 code, that 5 is now a 4.
Okay. I'm going to highlight this so it sticks out to me. All right. Was that it on chapter 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, sorry about that.
No, that's
Yeah, I got another one too. Can you run back to the reference standards, the NFPA 130?
I can.
And this is probably, a question for Mark in the group. I see that it shows here the 20 edition, the 2020 edition versus the 2017 edition, and just wanted to get Sound Transit's feedback on that, if they do want to go forward with the 20 or not.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Good question. We do want to move forward with a 2020 version. Yeah, it's always improving and providing more clarity. And I'm actually looking at it right now to see what the implications are. My first cut through it, it looks like it's all the changes are good.
Okay. So we can leave that then.
Okay.
Looks like Ken had to take a call, so.
Excuse me. And I'll send out one more. I'll clarify with Dave on this WUI code before the meeting on I think when we went through, he said just keep all. It was basically going to keep all the amendments. We just had to figure out how we wanted to do the book thing.
Yeah, Ray, this is John. He and I were working on that jointly, and I don't know if that's actually correct. I thought we were going to park this until the other rulemaking, but I don't think that he and we haven't performed any review of this because we thought it was parked. If it needs to be done in advance of the other rulemaking, we can go ahead and go through that. So what do you think we need to do?
We need to get it in its own its own code book for sure. Boy, I guess what I would do is if we have changes to these WACs now, we can do that. Well, actually, if we have changes, we'll make the changes through the rulemaking process with the proposals, and then during that time, we'll actually get this this WUI book its own number and its own section. Hopefully that was clear.
So, so to confirm, it's kind of parked until the other process.
No, we can still work on it.
Okay, so I guess what we'll do is then I will get with Dave and he and I will complete our work on this section of the amendments.
Okay, yeah, and that would be perfect. And then yeah, and then we'll just take it before the council but so whatever we have in here, we can work on these. It's just going to be moved over into the actual code, the book. What I should have done, forgetting that this was this was a separate whack. I should have just we should have just deleted this whole amendment and then did the whack numbers off the WUI book. But I forgot all about that in the beginning. But yeah, if you guys could just work on that, and then I will clean up the back end of it.
Okay, so we'll have this ready for next week then.
Yes, if we want to have a meeting next week.
Okay.
It's going to be a really busy week next week.
Okay.
But I can always just put it, if you guys get it to me, I can just put it on here and email it out to the group. And if anybody has any notes or comments, they can send them to us.
Okay. All right, very good. So that completes that, right? Are we?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and conclude with agenda item number 4 and jump to number 5, which is the significant changes report. So I know some people have sent some stuff over today to Ray to plug in. So he'll get that spreadsheet up, and then we can go ahead and start going through that chapter by chapter, and we'll just make a note if there aren't any significant changes or fiscal impacts, and try and get that buttoned up for the most part.
Matt, I'll pull yours up after we go through the main spreadsheet. I'll just use the email you sent me. So it won't be on this one, but we'll go through it.
Perfect.
All right. Are you seeing it? Oh, you don't see it. Oh, geez. Come on, Ray. All right. As I was adding these, I figured if they didn't have any significant changes, I was just going to leave them blank, and I'll put none just before the council meeting next week.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. What's the best way to do this?
I guess I should have left the names up there, Tony. I'm sorry.
Well, I think I remember 1 through 3 is John. So, John Napier, do you have any significant fiscal impacts on chapters 1 through 3?
I'm still looking at those as we speak. So
Okay.
Hopefully I'll have that something to you here shortly.
Okay, excellent. And 4, I can't remember who had 4, but
Doesn't look like there's any. They all say no
okay.
as far as costing it. Oh, here's a couple yeses.
Okay. Was that Chris or Corey? Who was it that was working on 4? I can't remember.
It wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
Was it Mike? Mike 6?
Not me.
Oh,
Do you have that other spreadsheet, Ray, that you can?
Yeah, I closed it, but I can get it. I get it back.
Sorry.
That's fine.
That was Dave, guys.
Oh, it's Dave?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay, so now we okay.
jump to 5.
Let me get it. I got documents opened everywhere. Okay, to 5. I think this was Ken, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's me. I'll look at what you got on the screen. What did I say? All right. Site safety plans. So when I put down significant, when I talk about cost impact, I don't know, is there a definition of what significant is with regards to?
It really isn't. It's when we were talking about this, it was more of a, okay, this is going to be more than just a few dollars to implement in the code. So adversely impact the contractor is what we kind of decided.
Yeah. So the reason I brought it up is just the highlighted section is what the Fire Code Action Committee put in their F-264-18 proposal for this code change. So they said that it is, but a cost impact. So I just said, yes, it was. I just went along with their philosophy of that. And then there's just a kind of a typo in the first sentence here. It references 3308 in the printing and it needs to go to 3303. And I don't know if that's just a first printing error and it will get fixed in the next printing or not, but it's just something that we'll have to propose, or I'll propose an amendment to it just to make sure we have the right reference number. So
Okay.
That's the first one on site safety plans. The next one down, there's no impact. It was just a terminology change. The Fire Command Center, and I know that I think Corey, you had this also at the building. That's just basically some really big buildings, 500,000 square foot F1s and S1s are required to have a Fire Command Center. They're not the 200 square foot ones. It's the back to the 96 square foot one. So yes, there will be a financial impact for those, but I don't know how many of those buildings there really will be. I know there'll be a few. And
Correct.
then the next one down, again, was the reference to the size of the Fire Command Center, just at 96 square feet. So technically there's an impact since they have to build it. The next one down, no real impact, is just a signage for the Fire Command Center that they identify it with the sign. And again, I was trying to do my best to find the code changes. So if anybody wanted the monograph or wanted to see what the decisions were, it would be a little easier to find. So that's why those little F42-18s are listed. Okay, the 510.1. So again, they changed some terminology and they tried to do some consistency with it. So now it's going to be emergency responder communication coverage. So that's the new term that's going to be used throughout. So it's really not an impact financially. This next one, and this is something that needs to get changed. I don't know with the state errata. So this UL 2524 standard. So I had proposed initially a state amendment to the 2015 code to put in the UL 2524 standard because it was in the 2021 code. And then after we had our regional meetings with industry, they said, hey, can you pull that out? And I did. And the reason is they still had a lot of stock on shelves that they wanted to use that didn't meet that 2524 standard. The problem is in the Washington State Code as printed, as I purchased, still shows that UL 2524 standard as a requirement in the state code as printed. So I don't know what you guys do with the state, if you guys are going to do any type of an errata or not on that, but that could cause some confusion because that proposal was pulled and it was not something that the Building Code Council reviewed. So that's just one of those unfortunate correlations. So there shouldn't be a financial impact for this for the 2021, just because all of the materials that they're using now should be moving forward with that 2524 standard, so that by the time we implement this, shouldn't be a problem. So next one down, Ray. The 510.4.1. So they added a definition of critical areas and also put it in the 99% coverage now in critical areas. And I believe that this is not going to be a significant cost because they're already providing the antennas and the boosters throughout the buildings. It's just going to be based on their design layout to just make sure they have those areas covered. And regionally wise, we're already pretty much having this done now. It's 99% in critical areas. All right, next one. Okay, so we already brought this in as an amendment, but we'll want to make a further amendment to this section because we put in some language regarding, hey, you got to mount that antenna at the highest possible point. So we will amend it, but it shouldn't have a significant cost since it's already in the 2018 code. And that's all I had for chapter 5.
Okay. And chapter 6, we have Quinn.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this one yet.
Okay, yeah. If you want to just look through that, and then this is being presented on the 19th, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have something emailed over to Ray as far as any significant fiscal impacts on 6,
Okay. Yep.
early next week, that would be great. I think
I'll do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. 7, there are none. I don't know if you want to make a note of that or not, Ray.
I'll make I'll make notes. If they're blank, I'll make them in.
Okay. And then 8 was Dave's. I don't know if he sent that over to you yet. Dave Cocotts. Doesn't look like it.
He sent me chapter 4 today, so
Okay.
he might still be working on it a little bit.
Okay, and then chapter 9, Corey had. Looks like we did that one maybe last week, or you did it sometime this week, Ray. So anything new on that one that we need to discuss?
Yeah, we went over it mostly last week, so I don't know if
No,
anybody
yeah,
has
please.
any more comments on it. Go ahead.
Is there any discussion on chapter 9 that anyone wants to have? Okay, we'll jump to chapter 10, which is.
We did this one last week as well.
Yep, we did that one. So is there anything on 10 that anyone wants to add or discuss? Okay.
Just that yesterday we decided that based on input from a electrician that we should throw a yes on 10.08 2.1 for the fiscal impact. He couldn't put a number on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe him, but he's an electrician, so it's still probably better than what I think, but I still don't know how you can get less than 10-foot candles in a stair when you put lights up. So, and then a yes on the size of area of refuge, and then a no on the last one about a supervising station.
Yeah, okay. I kind of freezing up here. I'm trying to. I stayed a little early. What the heck? There we go. So this was a yes right here on the area of refuge.
Correct. Or,
Yeah.
Yep, on the size of the area of refuge, and then a no on the next one about two-way communication systems.
And this is a no.
Correct.
I'm not hitting that save button again.
Okay, excellent. So going to 11. Did we do 11?
Matt has 11. It's in an email. Let's go through this. I'll pull up his email and we'll review it last.
Okay, so we'll skip 11 for now. Table that one, and then Quinn, same thing with 12. Just have something next week.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. 31, there isn't anything. Let's go to 33.
This was a big one I thought we talked about.
What's that?
I think wasn't this the major one that had major impacts?
That we talked about last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And specifically, it's no, maybe I think what you're thinking of was in chapter 11, I believe, the requirement
Oh, okay.
for sprinklers in high-rise facilities
Oh, okay.
that
Okay.
we did touch on. As far as my notes, so 3303, 3305, and 3313. I had presumed there'd be a cost impact, but it's difficult for me to guess I would look for somebody who does fire inspections during construction to share with me how much that really would impact, additional owner's responsibility for on-site supervision, et cetera, or the water supply protection during construction. I'm not sure is that significant or not? Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just put yes. I mean, it's easy to go backwards than it is forward on this. Oh, I was going to ask, we had yes for state amendments. Was that correct? That you thought we should have an amendment on this? I might have got my yeses on the wrong box when I did this.
I didn't get the impression that an amendment was needed for these.
Okay, thank you.
And 3309, I had no's on across the board.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. 36 is our next one.
There's 34 and 30, or
I think 34 and 5.
oh, that's me. Don't listen to me. Marina's 36.
36. So Kevin, do you have anything on 36?
Yeah, there were no significant changes in chapter 36.
Excellent. And 39 was Dave's. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he said he was just going to bring that over, right? Because we
Yeah.
wrote that code, so he's probably. I think he was pretty. He didn't understand. He didn't know how we were going to affect it because it was all new. So
Right.
everything's going to be.
Okay. All right, excellent. And then we have 40, which is John's, the fixed guideway.
Yeah, I'll be reviewing that one too. I don't anticipate any significant impacts.
Okay, excellent. And then we have 50, which is hazmat, and that was John and Matthew.
And I did not identify any significant impacts on those, John.
Can we back up for a second? Chapter 40, are you talking about chapter 40 of the 2021 IFC, right? Not R? Because there's a whole brand new chapter 40 on storage of distilled spirits and wines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm going off of the spreadsheet that was attached to a previous agenda, so maybe I have that wrong.
Yeah, that's true, Ken. That's the whole reason we had to move 40 to 49.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's actually reviewing that whole new chapter or not.
Yeah, I'll have to review it.
Okay, so we'll add we'll change 40 from the fixed guideway to the new chapter in 21, and then John, you'll look at that new chapter and.
Yeah, so we'll need to add, if we're gonna move stuff to the guideway to 49, then we need to add a chapter 49 in there. And then 40 would become the distilled spirits section.
Okay. Ray, are you following that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good catch, Ken.
Yeah, so the one other thing I'm going to bring up is I understand we wanted to move it to the back of the reserve chapters. But I'm just wondering, in Seattle, we actually have NFPA 502 is referenced as a whole nother chapter also. with amendments, and that's for like tunnels, underground roadway tunnels. And I'm just trying to look for the future here, if anybody else might have roadway tunnels in their jurisdictions that, we just think about where that chapter might go, because I don't know if that's going to be a proposal or not, coming from another jurisdiction, so to speak, to put it in the state code too. So I guess I was just looking at if 502 comes after 130, does it really matter if we put the NFPA 130 at the very end of the reserve, and then if we ended up adopting 502, if we move that to the chapter before, does that matter to anybody? That it's not in a sequential order? I don't even know if I explained that correctly.
I don't think anything in the IFC sequential. Yeah, missing here and missing there. And
Well, yeah,
I think
it's just
that
basically
makes sense to me.
yeah, if so, like we have I think what did we do? I can't, my brain's just fried because I'm dealing with the 24 code too right now. Yeah, we just put 130 before 502 when we adopted it, and it was just back-to-back chapters. So my ask is that maybe we just drop it back a chapter or something to give us one chapter after 130 available. If that's okay or not, I don't know, because they're all reserved.
Oh, you mean just use 48 for the guideways?
Yeah, use 48 for the guideways, and then possibility using 49 for NFPA 502.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it matters if you think if that's going to make things a little easier for you. So I know you guys are really trying to keep things consistent, and no, I think that's fine. We can do 48. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, and then that's how I'll propose it for the 21 code in Seattle also, is to try to marry up those two numbers then.
Okay, we'll just need to make those edits to the spreadsheet of the other. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm not set on 49, so 48 is
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
I made that change already on the other spreadsheet.
Excellent. Okay, very good.
We just need to make that change in the reference standards then too.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay. So that needs to be reflected in 80. Okay. And then,
I got it.
all right. Let's see. So hazmat, going forward to hazmat, we're good on that?
I don't see any significant changes.
Okay. Okay. And if you guys come up with anything, just shoot it off to Ray early next week. 56. Can I do a share screen real quick, Ray?
For 56, sure. I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
Is that your chapter, Tony?
Yeah. There's one I'm unsure on, and I just wanted to get the group's opinion. Okay. You guys seeing the 2021 fire code up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is what we talked about, right, Tony?
Yeah. So they have a new section for commercial reloading that did not exist prior. I imagine it would have a fiscal impact. I'm just not sure if it's a very far-reaching impact because of the nature of the business. Like I don't know of any commercial reloading facilities anywhere on this side of the mountains. Not that I would know, but I just don't know if this is going to have a huge, there's exhaust fan requirements, electrical requirements, approved containers, static control, waste disposal. So I don't know if anyone else has any familiarity with our tag on commercial reloading facilities and what rules they were under before. So I'm just unsure whether this would be considered a fiscal impact or not. So I'll open it up to the tag for any advice on that.
I'm surprised they put reloading instead of just loading,
Did you pull up the monograph and see what they said for cost?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll look that up really.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, Ray. That's weird that they put reloading and not just loading.
Yeah,
Just-
because if it's
why
a
is it not just? Yeah.
yeah, if it was a manufacturer, they wouldn't be reloading; they'd be manufacturing.
Yeah, that's really weird.
It would
The
be
only experience I have with reloading is ATF reached out for a guy that wanted to do it at his house. Well, he wanted to make bespoke bullets,
oh
essentially, but he had a house, so I didn't allow it because it was, in a neighborhood.
right.
But
Zoning issues.
So
I don't know where this industry is. Maybe the industry proposed it. Maybe it's just a new option.
no, it was proposed. I have it right here. Let me. Can I share for a second?
Yeah,
Hey.
let me stop sharing here.
Okay.
Yeah, because I take it to me when I read that, it would be me taking my shells into a guy and having them reloaded, my spent shells.
Okay, so you guys can see the F30218.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so again, it was done by Cal Fire Chiefs, and the language down here, there's your reason statement and the cost impact.
Could you post a link to that document, Ken?
So yeah, I
Or is it
it's a
not
huge
commonly
document.
available?
It's
Gotcha.
746 pages. You can let's see. I will try this again. I think I tried this before and it wouldn't let me do it, but I will try to put it. Does Zoom have a chat that you can attach things to?
Yeah.
Yes.
And just a link to the online where I could find it on the ICC website, if not the document file.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just do the document file because off the top of my head, I would have to
Oh,
go
okay.
dig into ICC to go find it.
Don't.
Send it, if you want to, Ken, just send it to me and I'll distribute it to the fire tag.
Okay.
You got something that I can send out.
Yeah, let me just do that. I thought I already did this, but I'll do it again.
Okay, well, that answers that question then.
So are you going to say no on that, Tony? The no?
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will have cost impact.
According to that document, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay, Ray, I just sent it to you. It'll probably take a little minute to get to you.
All right.
okay, thanks, Ken. Appreciate that. Okay, that takes us to 57, which is flammable and combustible liquids.
You guys don't see anything right now, do you?
Oh, no.
We see your face.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Um,
57. All right, let me
okay.
run.
You seen it now?
Yeah. So if you want to start at the scroll up or the other way. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is mine again. So no fiscal so I wrote amendment needed on a lot of these is again not knowing what our insert pages are going to be for the 2018 code until after this April 16th meeting. But this was the length. So some of this stuff that's in the 21 language is what's already in our proposal to amend the 2018 code. So, because we tried to bring a lot of that language from the 21 into the 2018. So the first one was just, again, allowing individual locations, the fire code official, or geographical areas. And I did say that should be some coordination. So there should be a fiscal impact, but we'll need to double check the amendments. Again, the next one down, the 3 tiers of vehicles have been added, and we'll have to, again, coordinate the language, the terms in there, the size of the vehicles, that type of thing is pretty much the same, but we'll have to coordinate that. Shouldn't be a fiscal impact at all. Again, the mobile fueling requirements, the 5707.2.2, there wasn't a previous section for this, and again, we'll just have to coordinate. No fiscal impact. the mobile fueling areas. So this was some clarification that the point of connection to the vehicle being fueled should not be located on public streets, public ways, or inside of buildings, and shouldn't be a fiscal impact. And I think we already, if everything gets added in correctly, we shouldn't have to amend this section. We have that language already. Same with the next one down, the separation for the vehicles. That should be the same language, hopefully, that we'll have here. Shouldn't be any impact. And the electrical equipment, that was language that we proposed going forward. So that shouldn't be a change. And then the dispensing hoses and nozzles, that's again, code language that we're having in our 2018 amendments. Shouldn't be a change. Breakaway nozzles, same thing. The fire extinguisher, I believe we did propose the upgrade to 80 VC from a 40 VC. So it shouldn't be a change. And then the safety cones, vehicle lights, again, we already have that. The only thing that is the last one, the nighttime deliveries, we need to coordinate it because I believe that we're referencing that WAC standard, I think, in ours, and we might just have to tweak this a little bit to make sure that our amendment is still being followed with that WAC standard. So that's it in 50 and 57 of significant changes that I could find.
Okay, thank you, Ken. So Ray, anything in 61?
No.
Okay, I'm guessing nothing in 80. That would be kind of odd. I think that pretty much completes it then.
Yeah. If anybody that said that they would send me something, we have tomorrow, like I said, next week is busy. We have an MVE committee meeting, we have a BFP committee meeting, and we have a council meeting. So the soonest you can get it to me, the better, just so I can, because there's a lot of council members that like to have to be able to review this stuff before the actual meetings. So, I mean,
We got to go over math still, so I apologize. I didn't mean to cut off. We got to go over 11, don't we?
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm jumping the gun too. But yeah, I mean, I know we're all busy, but just when you can.
Yeah, Ray. I'm off tomorrow, so I will spend all day working on it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, stop share. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah, that looks good.
Let me, you guys don't need to see all my emails. Okay, there we go.
All right, Matt, the floor is yours if you want to go over these.
Sure. So the emergency radio coverage thing was what triggered my thoughts to Ken's work earlier. Not a significant change, no amendment needed. I just noticed it's newish, and it might need to be coordinated, or would be desired to be coordinated. 1103.5.4 is a genuine cost impact. It's a retroactive requirement for sprinklering existing high-rise buildings. And now, as to whether or not it deserves an amendment, I would look to folks that would have to be using this code to enforcing this. More stakeholdering, I guess, is the appropriate say. More stakeholdering would be appropriate for the impacts. No significant changes for the fire alarms in R1 hotel motels. CO detection is so modified by Washington State amendment. I wouldn't expect any impact or fiscal impacts or further amendments. The table modifications, table 1104.18, just clarified where an NFPA 13 versus an NFPA 13R system is required to get the extended travel distances, dead ends, etc. I don't imagine that is an issue. It seems more like an academic clarification than a real world clarification. But that is to say, can anyone imagine someone going into a building and telling them retroactively that they have to upgrade from a 13 hard to a 13 system to meet this table. If so, then it has a fiscal impact. And everything else I did not see as impactful.
Okay, excellent.
And then 33, we kind of touched on before. Like I said, there's more requirements about the fire watch that would be the owner's responsibility and stuff like that. So impactful, yes. Or would it have a fiscal impact? Yes or no? Yes, it would. Is it significant? I defer. No. Like I said, more stakeholdering is appropriate, maybe would be the way to say that. But the one that's going to surprise people is the sprinklering. I don't think, if I were on the, feeding this information up, the high-rise building and the sprinkler system would be something that I think we want our peers to be aware of.
Matt, can I ask? I haven't got into that at all, just so I can wrap my head around it, because I'm sure I'm going to get some questions. What's the trigger?
Well, it's a new section. Let me pull it up here. Sorry, I got a lot of windows open as well. It's an entirely new addition into Chapter 11. There we go.
And this is the one for just the 4A, 4B, and 4C construction?
So where Appendix M has not been adopted, which...
No, you're talking, that's the high-rise one.
Right. That
Okay.
Is that not what we're on? What did you...
I thought you were still talking chapter 33.
No, I apologize. I thought Ray asked about Chapter 11.
I was asking about that. What's the trigger to that sprinkler system that would make it, if it's retroactive, I mean, you see what I'm saying?
20 feet. I think it's 120 feet, right, Matt?
Yep. Yeah, and so here's your scoping language. You shall have an NFPA 13 system where any of the following apply. A high-rise building has an occupied floor located more than 120 feet above the lowest level of the fire department vehicle access. The high-rise building has occupied floors located more than 75 feet and not more than 120 feet above the lowest level of fire department vehicle access, and the building does not have at least 2 interior exit stairways complying with section 1104.1. And then the high-rise building has occupied floors located more than 75 feet and not more than 120 feet above the lowest level of the fire department access, and a fire alarm system. I'm guessing so that's either having exiting or support systems commensurate or notification. So it's limiting the set without getting into, I mean, I can read it word for word if you want me to, but it's a limited set. I don't know how many buildings would fall into that category. Folks like Ken and Dave probably have a better sense of how large of a universe of buildings that would be. I think Dave definitely agreed that was going to be impactful in his area.
That is impactful in Seattle. We've already been discussing this.
Okay.
And that was I just ran off on a tangent. I was just curious. I got to study that one a little bit.
But could you go back to the 33, because there is something that's impactful. The 3303. There's a section 3303.3.1, the violation section. And I remember this was some people were arguing about this before, was that it's basically dictating that you shall result in the issuance of a notice of violation if you're not properly conducting, documenting, and maintaining documentation required by this section. It needs to get amended to allow the fire code official some latitude on that versus just saying you shall issue a notice of violation to the fire safety director. So practicality wise, I hope we take a look at that and look at amending it. And then the fire safety requirements for 4A, 4B, and 4C construction. did we bring this forward at the state? And I can't remember because of the ones that talks about when building construction exceeds 6 stories above grade plane, that they have to have the 1 layer of non-combustible protection already installed during construction.
Yeah, I thought we had that already. when did
Okay,
that
we
stuff
did
off
bring that
cycle.
over okay, we brought
thought
that over
so.
before. Okay, and I think that
Yeah.
we might have said where required, I think, or when required. I
Is
just
that
want
the
to
one that
make,
has that weird 40-foot line? Is that one that you're talking about? There's so many stories and it says 40 feet. And I'm like, how are you gonna get 40 feet?
yeah, I'm just, I gotta pull up the insert pages again.
I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, no, I just want to know if it's in our insert pages. in
You're thinking
chapter
of the
3.
4/1 construction, Ray.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
No, yeah, no, we do have it. We did bring it 3308.9. So there'll probably just need to be some yeah, that's just one that is hard, is just practically, it's a practical difficulty to even do this. So because they
So
want
you're advocating for an amendment, right?
yeah, somehow to allow the AHJ to required or not required, because it just, with our weather up here, when it says where building is 6 stories above grade plane, required exterior shall be installed on all levels, more than 4 floor levels, including mezzanines, before erecting additional floors. So you're asking to start wrapping some of the building with material that could get destroyed based on, so yeah, it's, and if maybe that's something I got to bring forward.
What section are we? I want to come back and circle back
That
on
was
what
a-
section.
So that was in our amendments, it was 3308.9. In the 21 code, it's 3303.5 in the 21 code. So we'll have to coordinate where we put it. And then Ray, you're right, that weird 30-foot thing was in 3313 for water supply for fire protection. But I'll be quiet now.
You said that last time.
Well, the reason I'm going to be quiet because I have a brand new barbecue being delivered to the house. So I got to take care of that important thing.
All right, thanks, Ken. Okay, so jumping back to the Excel sheet then, I think that wraps up our chapters then, right, Ray? Are we
Yep.
missing any?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. All right, excellent. And we talked about what we need to do for those remaining for early next week. That way we can get it in before all of our meetings come up next week. It's going to get kind of crazy, like Ray said. So, all right, that being said, is there any other discussion or anything that anyone wants to add for the significant changes report for agenda item number 5? Okay, not hearing any. Let's go ahead and jump to agenda item number 6, which is review opinion, King County Fire Marshals. And I know Ray and some of the TAG members have been working on this and have had some emails back and forth. So Ray, I'll ship it over to you here.
Okay, let me I gotta get it into the folder and get it pulled up here. Goodness gracious. Matt, I think you reached out and I appreciate you. I didn't ignore your email. I spaced your email off. I'm sorry about that.
It occurred to me that I know you're busy, and I just didn't know really whom would be, or if it would be appropriate for a TAG member to reach out. So I didn't want to break protocol, so to say.
You guys can reach out to me anytime, but when we do like distribution stuff, usually you'll just come to me and then I'll distribute it out instead of TAG members, just so we stay within our public meeting act. stuff. Okay, lay a little groundwork here. Are you seeing it now?
Not yet.
You're not seeing the, okay, hold on.
Seeing you again, right?
Hey, I'm the one that's supposed to be giving people a hard time, not you, me. Okay. Share this. I have to stop share. Okay, now I'm on track. Here we go. Okay, so lay a little bit of groundwork. We got this opinion request from the fire marshals. We reviewed it. We thought that we needed some more clarification on the question. Matt was gracious enough to reach out. And we did get a new question, and it's here in red. And Meg has also responded, but Meg, I'll pull up your email if you still think it's valid with this new question.
I don't anymore. I think
Okay.
that we've kind of gone past that because Matt had some concerns, which I think you've addressed regarding licensing. So I think you're in a good place.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So here's the new question. Oh, do you want me to read it, or are you guys good seeing it on the screen? Is there anybody on the phone that can't see it?
Go ahead and read it, Ray. That'd be good.
Okay. So the new question is, for buildings or portion thereof that operate, excuse me, choking my own spit. For buildings or portions thereof that operate as a non-medical licensed institution, does the building official have the authority to determine the occupancy classification based on the use and the associated hazards of the facility in accordance with the adopted code?
Okay, so, and then I think Dave sent an email, right? Dave Cocott on this.
Okay, let me look at that.
That kind of gave his take and what was already spelled out there.
Oh, yes, he did. I remember that now. Thank you, Tony. So Dave's response was, IBC section 111 spells it out pretty clear. A building is not allowed to be occupied without a certificate of occupancy. He put CO. The CO is issued by the building official and will include and use an occupancy in accordance with the IBC chapter 3.
So that's pretty straightforward. Are we basically moved off of the original question and now this is the clarified version?
Yeah, what's in red is what they wanted. They wanted to remove their old question and use this question.
Okay.
So I have a dumb question. Why is this coming to the fire code tag?
I was tasked, and it was IFC and IBC. I don't know if the IBC has been really looking at it too.
Well, yeah, just because the
I haven't.
IBC, yeah, the IBC takes precedence, and they're the, they're going to be the ones governing this, not the IFC.
I think because it came from the King County Fire Marshals is probably why.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, with the way they reworded it, I think the answer is yes, parentheses, duh.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, I think John, you're on, right?
Yeah.
Still, yeah. You kind
I
of
think it's,
clarified it.
yeah.
This is more, it is a very basic question. We just need to reword it slightly to take the licensing part out of it. This is just going to be additional documentation, building the case. We're having some problems with some nonprofits that are operating temporary shelters that are trying to use licensing as a shield for code. And so, yeah, it's pretty basic question. I know it seems elementary, but they're just building their case because they're being used. Other agencies are being used, and we're just trying to simplify the answer for them.
And Ray, I am curious of whether or not to follow on with Ken, that I presume this would be correlated through the IBC tag as well, because this could be used to imply like who has ownership and where does this conversation start with the certificate of occupancy versus a survey standard, and the effort that we wanted to make sure we could provide them with a very good answer that is highly supportive of their needs, but making the distinction that this is not intended to undermine or contradict Washington state amendments identifying license type designation and occupancy in the building code. So just to get everything coordinated there, because with the previous changes in 2018 linked and directed the building official to coordinate with the Department of Health to identify the license type or the occupancy designations for license types in the I-1 residential treatment type facilities. So it was important that this answer is correlated between both the tag, the fire code tag, and the building code tag, and it's written in a way to help the questioner, but not be seen as basically like an amendment after the fact to the 2018 amendments.
Okay. I think this was intended after we got done with it to at least be presented to Stoyan or something, the staff for the building code tag. Yeah, I agree. Would we, in that being said, would this sentence here of Dave's, or it would be these last two sentences here, would that cover it and what you're thinking? I would prefer to change the building official to code official, just because sometimes it's not the building official who's doing the occupancy. It might be a fire marshal or somebody else.
So this is Quinn here. So I do have a question. What's the alternative? I mean, they're posing the question. So I guess, does the building official have the authority? So if they don't, then who else would it be? What is their intent?
I think what was happening was once they got a license or something, they figured their building was the occupancy of their building.
Other way around, Ray.
Oh, other way? Okay.
I think what Ken was saying is it's more of a, I think what they were asking was more like, if I'm not a licensed facility, you can't make me do things.
Or,
yeah,
if I can add is, in this how we approach and how we use the code, is if the code official comes to you and says, you are this occupancy designation because you're doing those, I guess it's an open-ended versus a prescriptive versus an open kind of concept. I believe in this case, the code official may have led with, you are doing licensed things. Therefore, it's appropriate for you to follow this section of the code, as opposed to saying, you are doing things that appear consistent with these occupancy types, and you shall follow the building and construction standard for those occupancy types. By bringing the licensure component into it, you confuse the issue by, one, in some sense, stepping out of your authority to say that they are doing a licensed thing, and then getting to the occupancy designation through the designation of the occupancy type, as opposed to merely jumping straight to based on what you're doing in this building, it's appropriate that you follow this section of the code, regardless of which chapter or occupancy is it in, right? If I'm storing medical gases, it's going to be, I will use, as a code official, we're going to look to the requirements for medical gas storage, regardless if it's in an S occupancy, an educational occupancy, a hospital occupancy. And if you take that approach, I can just jump straight to the requirements for the specific condition, as opposed to clouding it. I've decided that you are now a hospital because you are storing medical gases and you have to follow these things. So the person's response would be, I'm not a hospital, go away. Can't tell me to do this. And which is what I think happened here, is that the code official may have led with you're doing hospital stuff, so you must follow hospital rules. And the answer was, I'm not a hospital. Those rules don't apply. Whereas if you led with, you're doing some stuff that looks an awful lot like this type of use, and my book says that the space should be designed like this when people are doing this thing, I'm get a faster path to enforcing some stuff. Sorry for the long-windedness there.
No, that's kind of what I needed. And kind of back up to what you said about this going, why is this at the fire code? We're just going to put an answer together, or if we can come up with an answer, a simple answer, this is still going to go before the BFP committee, and then it's also going to go before the council. So whatever we come up with it's still ultimately probably going to be edited by two more meetings next week.
So the only thing that what I'm hearing Matt say, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but is there's 2 lanes and merging them is not smart. So basically no medical licensing should be based on occupancy type, and no occupancy type should be based on medical licensing. Is that kind of where you were going with that, Matt?
That's kind of a parallel track. I wouldn't want to. There are places where we link the occupancy type and licensure in the code, so I didn't mean to undermine that. So if that's not my intent. What I meant to say is that. Oh, go ahead.
Well, sorry. The reason I asked is, could we add to the answer, regardless of whether it's a medical licensed institution, comma, a building is not allowed to be occupied without a CO? Or
I
no?
think it's an answer to a different question.
Okay, all right.
And Dave's answer is, I think it's kind of an answer to a different question as well. And it's a little, I would say that Dave's question is a little more broad, so I wouldn't be able to support it, not because he's not right, because I don't think it's appropriate to this circumstance. So I was trying to think of, the key, what I was imagining was that, the statement would start out like this: for non-healthcare licensed buildings and facilities, the code official the code grants the code official the authority to use the code, whichever is the most appropriate section. And I'm looking for something that says the code official can apply the contents of the book without having to say that they're designating an occupancy. They are the designator of the occupancy. I think the language would be helpful, and I'm not sure if it's in the book someplace. I was trying to skim over the administrative provisions earlier, but here would be my question: can the code official determine the appropriate building design and construction, or can the code official determine the appropriate requirements for building design and construction based on use, regardless of license type or occupancy designation?
Doesn't the permit have to issue
That's another, has this building changed approved uses, or has there been a change of use for the IEBC? But broadly speaking, we tried to kind of nuance this in our conversation, and John, chime in to help me out here. I'm just curious what it would look like if turn their question into the answer. Say that
This might be an appropriate time to bring up what I sent to Ray earlier this week, which was exactly that, which is reflecting the question in the answer, but adding the non-medical licensed institution, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what I did in the first email I sent you, Ray.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking for it right now. Thank you.
The idea is, so how, I guess, for those who use this in the field, do you lead with you're doing hospital stuff, so I'm going to make you follow the rules for an I-2, or do you look at work backwards from, you have people that are staying overnight in this building, so let's start to work backwards and see how many people do we have staying overnight, how long are they staying there, and then build it that way.
Maybe we can look at 302.1, which is
Yeah,
talking about occupancy classification, and that's where it talks about, you know, if something doesn't fit exactly, you get to pick the one that is most closely the best, you know? So maybe we can use that as the answer or somehow, just
Well,
referencing
I
that
would
section.
yeah, I would also look at the 102.3 change of use or occupancy in the fire code, where this is where it talks about that you can't have a change unless it complies with the fire code and the international existing building code, but does give the fire code official the ability to allow the condition to be in that space as long as it's not, as long as it's less hazardous based on life and fire risk.
Right.
So I would concentrate on answering it both ways.
Mm. And the issue, and maybe my answer of the prescriptive application of the code is more from a design approach, and so I may have also confused the issue a little bit. But the key is that for the interest of the Department of Health is that code officials aren't reassigning or reevaluating occupancy designations of licensed facilities. That's at the end of the day. So that's if by emphasizing the non-healthcare licensed facilities, the code official has all the power and authority associated with in the code. It's just to cleave those from this conversation entirely is the interest of the Department of Health. Because if we're going to reopen that conversation, that's a much broader one of coordinating who determines who's the designator of occupancy classification. Does that make more? Is that a little more clear as far as the interest of just separating the conversations between licensed
think so.
healthcare and non-licensed healthcare? Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is Damon. Can I ask a question really quick? I think I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So we're just trying to understand occupancy classification and whether that's determined by the code official or the use of the building.
I think that's the way the question was asked, is whom
That's kind
gets
of
to
how I
designate the
interpret it.
occupancy.
Yeah, is that seems to be the target, is classification of occupancy and whether that's designated by the code official or by the building design. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm sorry.
No,
I hope this isn't more confusing.
and I would say that the code official is the designator of building occupancy with exception to licensed facilities by amendment to the code, where the WAC is amended to say assisted living facilities shall be I1 condition 2. And that's a case where the code official is not the designator of the occupancy type.
Right. So just to try and get this going in the direction so we can put some little bit of finality to it. If what's up now, Ray, is Meg's answer to this.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just go over this quickly and because I'm just skimming through it. If it sounds like it might be pertinent to the direction we're going in. So the issuance of a license by the state of Washington for a facility to operate does not preclude the determination of the occupancy of the building or portion of a building by the building official. The building official typically reviews and determines the occupancy prior to review of the building structure or portions thereof by a state agency for licensing compliance. Per 3011 of the IBC, the code official delegated to the enforcement of the provisions of this chapter shall control the classifications of building, structure, or portion thereof as to occupancy and use. For example, when a change of occupancy to an institutional occupancy is reviewed by the building official, the requirements for that change of occupancy must be met prior to the issuance of a building permit. When the plans are approved for permit, the building permit is issued and the construction is inspected by the building official for compliance with the permit concurrently or prior to the state licensing agency licensing review of the building, structure, or portion thereof for compliance prior to the issuance of an operational license. Okay, so Matt, looking at that, I mean, I think we're all on the same page, but I'm in agreement with that. I think that that's a very good way of explaining it. And to me, that's where I was going back to where if we can define and separate the roles, because I think they are separate roles for the most part, and I think that's kind of what this answer does, unless I'm missing something there. For non-healthcare licensed buildings, facilities, the building official may designate the occupancy type and construction requirement for the building structure or portion thereof. Is that your?
I would just have one recommendation that if we answered it with the first paragraph, we take out the second paragraph, only being that we're just, as an opinion, we're only just to answer the question. So the example is great for us in conversation, but I don't think it would be valid in the formal opinion that will be posted.
So I posted my answer in the chat.
Okay.
For non-healthcare licensed buildings, facilities, the building official may designate the occupancy type and construction requirements for the building structure or portion thereof. So that's directing it specifically to the question, because it's basically pulling out that non-healthcare licensed portion, Matt, I think is what you're getting at there, and saying, look, for non-health, it's specifically saying for non-healthcare licensed buildings, it's up to the building official, plain and simple.
Yes.
Which I don't think anyone would disagree with. But let's open that up to discussion and see if we can come up with something here.
I like
And
that
I think that's
language.
the evolution. Yeah, that's the evolution, because this what the email I sent was maybe Monday or Tuesday, and then we got the new question, and Matt's doing the same thing, reflecting the answer, reflecting the question in the answer, and the question got shrunk. So Matt's answer is shrunk, which is, I think, appropriate, and doesn't get into all the other stuff that's a little bit confusing about what happens when you have a licensed occupancy. It's hard. It's really hard. So peeling that away, I think, is actually good.
Okay, so two things real quick. Just add the or under for buildings or facilities, Ray, on the there we go. And then Chris, you had your mic off and you were going to say something there, so go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if, Matt, if you have language that's more specific than healthcare licensed, that specifically talks about the Department of Health, or what WACs would be applicable there, just to really carve out those things that you guys license.
We could say licensed by the state of Washington.
Oh, I like that.
Just that makes it clear, like what license, you know what I mean? Just from we know these people are already being pretty ticky-tacky with their defense of what they're trying to do.
Let's see here. Let's see.
Is that all of them though? I'm trying to think of some. I mean, I was really specific to the healthcare part for non-healthcare licensed facilities.
We could say for buildings or facilities providing healthcare licensed by the state of Washington.
Would you get into? Keep going. Keep typing. I'm thinking of the mutual.
It would be not licensed though, right? For buildings or facilities, not. After facilities, we need not, don't we?
Oh, that's not that important.
Yeah.
There we go. Not licensed. There we go.
And if you add healthcare into that, then it might be a debate about, I'm an assisted living facility, I'm not a healthcare facility, or, you know, that is elsewhere defined. Healthcare facility is defined in NFPA 99, in the NEC. I wouldn't want there to be any weirdness there.
Could we just say by the Department of Health of the state of Washington?
Or are we the only people that license them? There's DSHS, the Department of Health.
Okay.
Okay.
Code
I was
official
going to say licensed care facilities.
Well, that would take out. That would still narrow it down, I think.
you could have it, and this is going to be good both ways, guys, because this means that if they say we're not licensed, we don't have to do this, you can say, well, let's double check to see that you don't need to be licensed based on what you're doing there. Because I can also think of adult family homes that could get weird into that gray zone. Those are licensed by DSHS.
Could we
But this will
put-
get us close enough to get it over to the building code tag, and then they're going to chew on it 3 ways too. And
okay.
Yeah, the BFP committees, who's going to see this next, so they'll be very thorough. Tony will be at that meeting too. So if we have something to present to them that we all feels logical to answer the question, I think that we can just put it together.
And I think we identified non-healthcare licensed facilities just to even narrowly carve out our specific interest and to not try and overstep, because maybe would there be an institutional and I3 occupancy that is licensed by the state that would not then have to follow along with the building official? Are there other eyes out there that this might fall into beyond my realm of healthcare understanding? So we want to be very narrow and not accidentally create another ripple effect in another section of licensed facilities. So I don't know how you guys deal with your jails and what happened.
Are we good with what we got here with Matt's answer?
I think so.
Yeah, I like it.
I would agree. I think it looks good.
Okay, that's excellent. I think we're there.
So
And
this
that's
is
tomorrow.
do we want? Oh, dang it! Didn't we do that? Okay, so this is what I'll present to the. I'll put it in the formal format and present it to the BFP committee. Do we want to leave this 301 portion in the answer?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That's my vote, just to minimize confusion, maybe.
Okay. And
I
would
agree. Yeah, this will be a 30-minute, 40-minute conversation as it is. So if we take the rest as much out as we can.
would no still be beforehand, or just leave it like it is? Don't put any no's, yeses.
I think, is the question up top being replaced with the one below?
Oh,
Yeah,
let me
that's
do
what
that
I was
real
going to say.
Sorry about that.
My answer is the same either way. I have read your question and I decline to entertain. Here's the statement. Well, it's a no-win question as presented. That was the challenge. That's what I ran into. I thought about this quite a bit, and there you can say yes or no in either way. And
Yeah.
what I was imagining. So when I look at this as well, guys and gals, I appreciate taking the time, because this will stand. This should get as much attention as an amendment, because that's how it's going to. It may be used for hereafter. In the legal case to follow, this will be drawn on as equivalent to the code provisions.
And Matt, to elaborate on that too, since I've been here for 3 years, we had changed the word from interpretation to opinions, and we use the word opinion so we don't take the authority away from the building official to enforce its own code. So they can still do whatever. They can use this as a sample, but they have the authority to enforce their own code the way they interpret them. But I think this is great. This gives us something. It was a great conversation, and I think this gives us something to present to the BFP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, very good. Thank you everyone for your work on that. That is, that's a lot of good stuff there. Okay. Any other discussion that we want to have on the agenda item number 6, review opinion for the King County Fire Marshals? Not hearing any, so let's move to agenda item number 7, which is other business. Anyone have any other business they'd like to bring up?
I do, Tony. I'm sorry. I'm trying to close windows and I would like to talk to the TAG about we're going to have the building. We're going to have the building, the code council meeting on the 19th. That week's going to be pretty busy, so we might want to skip this next week for tags. But then after that, we're going to getting in proposals and reviewing proposals, which is very daunting. It's kind of like going over this opinion that we just did. There's a lot of strong thoughts go into them. So what we talked a little bit about possibly moving these meetings to every 2 weeks, but they're probably going to last longer. And we just wanted to open it up for discussion.
As I enjoy weekly meetings, I honestly would be fine either way, but I think keeping them weekly is great.
I do recall. Oh,
do either. I like the idea of every other week, but knowing that it's going to be a longer meeting. That being said, though, I'm open for anything. Whatever the TAG leans towards is what I'll follow.
And I can say just from experience that if we did weekly meetings during the proposal format, they're still going to last us. They're probably going to be 4-hour meetings. I mean, we always book out 4 hours for them, and as those proposals come in, we go through them and modify them heavily with the proponents, and they last a while. I mean, like this opinion was a perfect example of what the code proposal process will be like, and we might have. There's times we'll probably have 40 or 50 of them to review in a meeting. But like I said, it's whatever the TAG would like to do.
Matt, what do you think?
I do recommend canceling next week's meeting, though.
If it's going to be a tough week for the council, Ray, then I would support you on that. I was imagining, I do remember some pretty long meetings in the past where we definitely ran the full 4 hours. And I was on board with Damon's point about maybe the weekly meetings would be better because then and I thought, cool, we'll do smaller doses, they'll be shorter. And then Ray reminded me, there's no guarantee that they're going to be shorter if they're more frequent. So maybe every 2 weeks and not having a safety net would mean that we would just get the same amount done. We might get the same amount done in 4 hours as we would in 8 hours. So either way, I'm flexible. I just, whatever I can do to support the cause.
Yeah, and we'll know more after this next council meeting. Because I think we're going to vote on we are going to set the time for accepting proposals. We've already if you have a proposal and you want to send it, we've been taking them and putting them in a file just as a courtesy, but it looks like we're going to start taking them. The 60-day cycle is going to start in April. We'll go 60 days and then, but I will try to keep everything organized and we'll stay up on them. So at the end of the 60 days, we aren't trying to do all the proposals in one sitting.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's just plan on because next week's a busy week. Let's table our meeting, our fire TAG meeting for next week, and then we will plan on meeting the 25th for our next meeting, and then we'll let everyone kind of chew on this until then, and we'll take a vote then as far as what we want to do moving forward. Does that sound good, Ray?
That sounds great to me.
Okay, excellent. Okay, very good. Does anyone else have any other business? All right, excellent. Well, thank you, everyone, and appreciate everyone's hard work. You guys have been doing awesome. I'm really happy to be a part of this. So thanks, everyone, and have a good rest of your afternoon.
Yes,
great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm still recording, so let me get to the non-recording button here.
Oh, I didn't ask if anybody wanted to talk about ventilation of med gas storage rooms.